Hello, everyone. It's Frank, and we're ready to hit the road for the Class M permit test in Massachusetts. Getting your motorcycle permit is the first step towards enjoying the open road on two wheels. Let's make sure you know the ins and outs of safe riding and Massachusetts regulations. What is the minimum age to apply for a Class M motorcycle learner's permit in Massachusetts? 16 years old. You need to be at least 16 to start your journey towards a motorcycle license in Massachusetts. On to the next one. While operating a motorcycle with a Class M permit, when are you allowed to ride? During daylight hours, sunrise to sunset. Night riding is generally restricted for permit holders for safety reasons. What's after this? Can you carry passengers while operating a motorcycle with a Massachusetts Class M permit? No, passengers are not permitted. Permit holders must ride solo to focus on developing their skills. Moving on. In Massachusetts, what type of helmet is required for both motorcycle riders and passengers? A DOT compliant helmet. DOT certification ensures the helmet meets federal safety standards. So, what's next? What eye protection is required for motorcyclists in Massachusetts unless the motorcycle has a windscreen, goggles, eyeglasses, or a protective face shield? Proper eye protection is crucial for clear vision and preventing injury. Next on our list, what is the purpose of the C strategy in motorcycle riding? To search, evaluate, and execute for potential hazards. This is a core defensive riding strategy to anticipate and react to dangers. Okay, what's after this? What is a common cause of motorcycle crashes at intersections? Other drivers failing to see the motorcycle. Motorcycles can be harder to spot, so always be alert at intersections. Let's move on. How can a motorcyclist increase their visibility to other drivers? Wear bright clothing, use headlights, and ride in a lane position where you can be seen. Making yourself conspicuous is a vital safety measure. What about this next one? What is the recommended following distance for motorcyclists in good conditions? At least 2 to 3 seconds. This provides adequate time to react and stop if necessary. On to the next question. When carrying a passenger on a motorcycle, what adjustments should be made? Increase following distance, adjust tire pressure, and suspension. The added weight changes the motorcycle's handling characteristics. Moving forward, what is the proper way for a passenger to ride on a motorcycle? Sit behind the driver, feet on footrests, and hold onto the driver or handholds. Proper passenger positioning is essential for stability and safety. Let's consider the next one. When should you use your horn on a motorcycle? To get someone's attention who may not see you, or in an emergency. The horn is a warning device, not for expressing frustration. And the next point. What should you do if your motorcycle starts to wobble? Grip the handlebars firmly, ease off the throttle, and gradually slow down. Don't fight the wobble with force. Let the motorcycle stabilize itself. What's next? What is the best way to handle uneven surfaces or potholes on a motorcycle? Slow down, rise slightly off the seat, and avoid sudden movements. This allows the suspension to work more effectively and reduces the impact on you. Moving on to this. When crossing railroad tracks, how should a motorcyclist approach them? Cross at a 90-degree angle if possible, or as close as conditions allow. Crossing tracks straight on minimizes the risk of your wheels getting caught or slipping. All right, let's see. What should you do if you encounter an oil slick or wet leaves on the road? Reduce speed and avoid sudden maneuvers. These surfaces offer very little traction. What's after this? What is target fixation in motorcycle riding? Staring at a hazard you want to avoid, potentially causing you to ride into it. Look where you want to go, not at the hazard. Next question. When preparing for a turn, what is the best strategy for a motorcyclist? Slow down before the turn, then accelerate slightly through the turn. This slow in, fast out technique provides better control and stability. Let's get to this one. Why is it important to check your mirrors before changing lanes? To identify potential hazards and other vehicles. Always confirm your path is clear. Okay, what's next? What is the legal requirement for motorcycle headlights in Massachusetts during the day? Headlights must be on at all times. Daytime headlight use significantly increases your visibility to others. Moving on. What is the purpose of the engine cutoff switch on a motorcycle? To quickly shut off the engine in an emergency. This switch is for immediate engine shutdown, not for regular stopping. So what's next? Before every ride, what essential checks should a motorcyclist perform? T-clocks. Tires, controls, lights, oil, chassis, stands. These quick checks ensure your motorcycle is safe to ride. Next on our list, what is the maximum speed limit in a thickly settled or business district in Massachusetts unless otherwise posted? 30 miles per hour. Always adhere to posted speed limits, especially in populated areas. Okay, what's after this? What does a broken yellow line on a two-lane road mean? Passing is permitted for traffic moving in either direction when safe. You can cross a broken yellow line to pass if the way is clear. Let's move on. What does a solid yellow line on your side of the center line indicate? Passing is not permitted for traffic on your side. Do not cross a solid yellow line on your side of the road to pass. What about this next one? What is the minimum insurance coverage required for motorcycles in Massachusetts? Bodily injury, property damage, and uninsured motorist coverage. Proof of financial responsibility is mandatory. On to the next question. How long is a Massachusetts Class M learner's permit valid? 2 years. Make sure to complete the necessary steps to get your license before it expires. Moving forward, what is required for a 16 or 17-year-old to obtain a Class M license in Massachusetts? Hold permit for 6 months, clean driving record, complete driver's ed, and pass a motorcycle basic rider course. Massachusetts has specific graduated licensing requirements for young riders. Let's consider the next one. If traffic signals at an intersection are blacked out and not working, what should you do? Treat the intersection as a four-way stop. Proceed with caution, yielding to vehicles already in the intersection or to your right. And the next point, what is the penalty for violating Massachusetts school bus stop law? Fines and potential license suspension. Always stop for a school bus with flashing red lights. What's next? What is the primary cause of engine seizure in motorcycles? Lack of oil. Proper lubrication is crucial for engine health. Moving on to this. If you are forced to leave the road to avoid a hazard, where should you stand if you need to check your motorcycle? As far off the road as you can. Prioritize your safety by staying away from moving traffic. All right, let's see. What is the purpose of wearing brightly colored or reflective clothing when riding a motorcycle? To increase your visibility to other drivers. Bright gear makes you easier to see, especially in low light. What's after this? When riding in a group, what is the recommended formation on a straight roadway? Staggered formation. This allows each rider space while maintaining visibility of the group. Next question. When riding with a group, what is the sweep rider responsible for? Following at the rear to assist riders who fall behind or have trouble. The sweep rider acts as the group's safety net. Let's get to this one. Why is it important to check your turn signals are canceled after turning? To avoid misleading other drivers. An uncanceled signal can cause confusion and potential hazards. Okay, what's next? What is the best way to use both front and rear brakes for maximum braking efficiency? Apply both brakes simultaneously and progressively. Most of your braking power comes from the front brake, but both are important for controlled stops. Moving on. What can happen if you press in the clutch for an extended period while riding? Your control over the motorcycle will be reduced. Coasting with the clutch in limits your ability to accelerate or use engine braking. So what's next? Why should you approach turns and curves with caution on a motorcycle? To avoid crossing into another lane of traffic or going off the road. Poor judgment in turns can lead to serious incidents. Next on our list. Which lane position should you typically choose when approaching an intersection? A lane position that provides maximum visibility of and to oncoming traffic. Position yourself to be seen and to see potential threats. Okay, what's after this? What is the consequence of not renewing your Massachusetts Class M permit before it expires? You will have to retake the knowledge test to get a new permit. Don't let your permit expire. Let's move on. What is the penalty for operating a motorcycle in Massachusetts without proper eye protection, if required? A traffic citation and potential fine. Always comply with safety equipment laws. What about this next one? When conducting a pre-ride inspection, why is it important to check your drive chain or belt for proper tension and lubrication? A properly maintained chain belt is essential for power transfer and longevity. On to the next question. What should you do when passing parked cars? Allow enough space to avoid doors opening or people stepping out. Anticipate hazards from parked vehicles. Moving forward, what does it mean if your motorcycle's brake pedal or lever feels spongy? There may be air in the brake lines or low brake fluid. A spongy brake indicates a problem that needs immediate attention. Let's consider the next one. What is the most effective way to protect your head in a motorcycle crash? Wear a DIOC compliant helmet. A good helmet is your most important piece of safety gear. And the next point, what is the Massachusetts law regarding lane splitting, riding between lanes of traffic? It is illegal. Lane splitting is not permitted in Massachusetts. What's next? How does carrying cargo on a motorcycle affect its handling? It raises the center of gravity and affects stability and balance. Adjust your riding style and weight distribution when carrying a load. Moving on to this. What is the purpose of motorcycle countersteering? To initiate a turn by pushing the handlebar in the direction of the turn. Countersteering is how you lean the motorcycle into a turn. All right, let's see. If you are 16 or 17 years old and obtain a Class M permit, what restriction applies regarding night riding? Not allowed to drive between 12:30 a.m. and 5 a.m. This is part of the graduated licensing restrictions for younger riders. That wraps up our essential questions for the Massachusetts Class M permit test. Keep studying, practice safe riding techniques, and remember that being a responsible motorcyclist starts with knowing the rules. Good luck on your test.